Love's not real.
You don't trust anybody?
Just steady, but barely. Heroin's the meaning of life.
Heroin's the meaning of life. Okay, tell me more.
No heroin, no happy, no point.
Alrighty, we're here with Becca. How you doing, Becca?
Pretty good, how are you?
Good. Do you give us permission to use this video on our YouTube channel?
Yes.
Alright, Becca. Can you tell us your current living situation and what you do day to day to survive?
So about a year ago, I was living with my, I guess you could call him my sugar daddy or my boyfriend or whatever. He was basically supporting me, and I didn't leave the house for almost 3 years unless it was to go out to eat with him or to go. Like, we went to the McDonald's drive-thru like 5 times a day, and in between that, we would go out to Denny's or IHOP and Applebee's at night. But that was the only time I left the house, was with him. And then after those 3 years, he ended up actually putting me in jail for domestic violence. And
Putting you in jail?
yeah, I didn't beat him. Okay, so yeah, I hit him a few times, but like we and him were arguing, and he didn't want me to. He didn't want me to freaking be right. Like, he always has to be right. So, but like, if he's wrong, I'm not gonna sit there and tell him he's right. Like, he's a grown ass man. He like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm wrong, like, I'll tell you. Like, okay, you're right. I'm wrong. My bad. You know what I mean? But like, he wouldn't let up, and like, he had no more verbal arguments to make. Like, he had no rebuttal to whatever the hell I said, because he knew I was right. And like, if I say this guy's green, you're gonna say, no, it's blue. And what am I gonna say back to you? Because it's fucking blue. You know, like, there's nothing I can tell you that it's blue. Like, I have no rebuttal. So instead of him just being quiet and walk away, he proceeded to like try to corner me in the bathroom, and he cocked his hand back like he was gonna hit me. So I knocked him out, and I tried to tie him up.
Was he a little guy?
What?
A little guy?
He's like, I don't know, probably about your size.
Okay.
But
About 6'2"?
No, like, I don't know. He's a little bit taller than me. So maybe like just under 6 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many times have you been in jail?
Well, I've done time only. Well, this last time I did 30 days for some trespassing bullshit. I fought the case though, and they dropped the case. So I did 30 days in jail though, waiting for them to drop the case. My bail was only $250, and I had the money, but since he's on house arrest now, and my mom's an asshole, I could not go get my money because I'm locked up in a cell. So I was stuck in jail for 30 days while I waited my trial. But then they just dropped it when I went to trial. But before that though, I did like a year and a half in county with like 3 days out and like somewhere in that year and a half, and then I did 180 days in the city for another domestic violence. But I was the victim. My mom beat me up basically. And when I went to leave the house because she was still attacking me, the cops were at the door and they arrested me because my little sister was a minor, so my mom was able to fill out her witness statement. I don't know how that's even legal. Even if she's a minor, she still knows how to read and write, and she understands, like, she can tell you what happened, you know what I mean? She could articulate, like, what she saw properly like, she was like 9 years old or 10 years old, you know? So she should have been able to do it herself, but they let my mom do it. So my mom wrote that I kicked in the bathroom door and like threw something at her, and I don't know, some bullshit. So
you have multiple charges, felonies? Or
no, like, I got no felonies. They were all dropped down to either gross misdemeanors or misdemeanors.
Okay. And where do you live right now? Where do you stay?
Technically, like on paper with Ruben, or Daddy, the guy that I was living with for those 3 years, but right now he's on house arrest. So I only go home like for an hour or two at a time, maybe like twice a week, just to get some clothes and say hi to him, and then I leave and I just kind of wander around. I was going to my friend's house, but I don't know, when she gets a different boyfriend, she acts differently every single time, and like, it's just, I don't know, it's funny to me. Like, the person that you're with shouldn't change who you are. They should just complement who you are and bring out the better aspects or the better points in your, like, parts of your personality or whatever. They shouldn't bring out the worst in you and make you just change up on your friends and not treat them the same that you were beforehand. You know, so I don't go there no more. So I've been going to my mom's, which is awesome.
So you're kind of couch surfing right now?
Kind of, like, not really. Like, I sleep in casino bathrooms a lot.
Sleep in casino
bathrooms? Okay, so like, I have narcolepsy, so like, I accidentally will fall asleep on the toilet, and like, when I realize like I've been in here 2 hours and no one's came and like fucked with me, I'm like, fuck it, I'm tired. And, like, I'll just stay in there sitting on the toilet and like sleep until they kick me out, basically. But I don't do that to like at the casinos that I frequent. It's just like casinos that like I don't like that. Like, I don't care if security kicks me out because I don't like them.
Where were you born?
New York.
New York. What part?
Long Island, and I grew up in Bethpage, New York.
Okay.
But I was born in I don't know, North Massapequa, somewhere in I don't know whatever hospital it was, North Shore, I think maybe. No, my sister was born in North Shore. I don't know where I was born. I know where my sisters were though.
You're 27, right?
Yeah.
Then where did you go to high school and junior high school and all that?
I went to
out there?
Yeah, well, I went to John H. West in New York in Plain Edge School District in Bethpage.
Okay.
And then I went to Plain Edge Middle School up until after, and then after 7th grade, literally 2 days after my dad got out of prison for 7 years, we moved here to Vegas.
Okay.
And my mom, and that was all my mom's doing, and the idea, cause she thought that like moving to Vegas was the right thing to do with your 2 children, and she was totally wrong because she just ruined our lives.
You have a sister?
Yeah, I have 2 sisters.
2 sisters. And then you guys moved to Vegas, but you did finish high school there?
No, I finished high school out here. Okay. I finished high school early, and then I went to an early college program.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I never went down to the admin office and told them what degree I wanted, but it's like the equivalent of, I think, almost a bachelor's degree in biochem.
So you must have been a really good student. Must be very smart.
Well, yeah, my teachers hated me though.
Your teachers hated you?
Like they would ask me not to show up to class. Well, I would find like loopholes in it. So like I wouldn't do my homework. I would basically just show up to class when there was a test, and I would before the teacher was done handing out the test, I would already be done filling it out, and I would never have a question wrong. So like most of my teachers hated that because like they weren't even like you know what I mean, like they don't know how to entertain me now for the next hour and a half class that most kids are on the 3rd question by the time class is over and have to come in after school to do it, but I'm already done with the 80 question test. Mostly B's, and that was only because I refused to do homework. Homework is home time. School, when I'm at school, that's time to do schoolwork, not at home. Why do you have to practice at home?
Were you a popular girl in high school? You have a lot of friends?
Honestly, no. Like, I didn't have, real friends. Like, they just were using me because my mom didn't give a fuck, and we had a house party that lasted, 3 months long. She was a horrible mom.
So, you had a house party?
Yeah.
With your mom's house? You guys drank?
Yeah, everyone was pissed drunk, but all my friends had permission slips from their parents, so when the cops would show up, they couldn't do nothing because it's completely illegal to drink on your own property with your parents' consent.
And your mom would let you drink and do drugs too?
Yep.
Did you continue going to school?
Yeah, the dope was the drugs really just enhanced my ability to continue going to school because I was always in too much pain, or my back hurt, this or that, or I'm always in so much pain. I have Lyme disease, so Lyme disease causes a lot of medical problems. So the heroin just it was like a painkiller for me, so I was able to go to school and actually complete the whole day of school without having an incident.
Where was your dad at this time?
It was what?
Your dad, your father.
Oh, my dad, he was in New York.
He was there in New York while this happened?
Yeah, well, we were out here in Vegas.
Okay, you guys they divorced?
Yeah, my dad left my mom for a tranny when I was 3.
Your what?
My dad left my mom for a tranny when I was 3 that he met in prison.
Your dad
left my mom for a dick in a skirt.
For a transgender woman that he met in prison. Okay, and that's why they divorced.
Yes.
So then what happened with your dad? He got with her?
Yeah, well, my dad, I don't know, he ended up going to jail again, a couple of months later.
Yeah.
And broke up with the transgender, I guess, and now he's with some lady named, I can't even name her name. Named Erin, but she's only 10 years older than me. It's so weird.
Okay. So they divorced, and your dad was bisexual?
Yeah, or he says he's institutionalized, but
Okay, because of jail.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have a relationship with your dad still?
Not really. The only time I call him is Christmas and on my birthday because he sends me $100 or more, a little bit more sometimes each, twice a year basically.
Who was your role model growing up?
My grandma and my grandfather.
Okay. They're out there in New York?
They died.
Okay, I'm sorry. Were they good to you?
Yeah.
What did you love about them?
Everything.
Obviously you weren't doing drugs back then.
No.
What's your best memory back then with them?
Going to Jones Beach and my grandmother would sing this song to us. And
what song?
I can't. It's I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, hug around the neck, and a barrel and a heap, a barrel and a heap, and I'm talking in my sleep about you.
You like that song?
Yeah. Like, she used to sing it to us to help us go to sleep when we were babies. So, like, growing up, it was just like a soothing song, I guess.
She's a loving grandmother and a loving grandfather.
Yeah.
And on your mom, on the other hand, was smoking dope with you.
Yeah, and cutting open my stuffed whale and scaring the shit out of me for no reason in the middle of the night. Doing weird shit, like telling us there's bugs on us.
She always used drugs? As long as you remember?
Yeah, but like I didn't really know that my mom was using drugs when I was a kid. I thought my mom was losing her mind until my grandparents got custody of us because they called CPS on her because one day.
So your grandparents got custody of you at what age?
Yeah, for just a year though. I was in 2nd grade. Yeah, because my mom thought that we were all.
Was that the best time in your life with your grandma? And your grandpa? Were you upset that you had to go back to your mom?
Yeah, no, like, cause like we were just so used to being with my mom all the time. Cause like, you know what I mean? Like you don't know that like you have it bad until you've had it good. You know? So like going back to my mom's, it was just like I don't know. It was different, but it was like it never even happened, kind of. Cause like my mom just wanted to forget about it, but like. It obscured my view of my mom as a parent.
Okay. Do you respect your mom?
No.
But you still see her. You're cool with her.
I guess. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, she can't change the past. No, everyone.
Do you blame
makes
her
mistakes.
for this?
No.
Some of your problems?
Well, I don't blame her for anything but moving us here. Moving us to Vegas ruined all of our lives.
If your mom didn't light up that dope that day when you were 12, you think you'd be doing this right now? Walking the streets, smoking meth and...
Probably, because, like, my middle sister, she drank a lot. I mean, a lot. Like, she was in the hospital with alcohol poisoning so many times. But, like, when she graduated from college, she kind of grew out of it. She doesn't smoke weed anymore because it makes her too paranoid. She, like, has, like, weed-induced schizophrenia. And then my other sister, she just smokes weed. And, like, I'm really the only one that got into hard drugs, but I'm pretty sure that's because I scared the dog shit out of them. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, what 12-year-old or 13-year-old has to worry about a dope habit? And then, like, on top of that, my mom wasn't functioning, so I had to take my sisters to school. I didn't have a license. I would take the car and drive them to school. Like, what I was going to do, make them miss school because my mom's a piece of shit?
So you finished high school early and you went to college prep school?
No, I went to, it's Nevada State High School. It's similar to the CSN program.
Okay.
So, like, you get dual credit, but since I already graduated, like, I don't know, it was kind of confusing because then, like, after I was done with the Nevada State High School, they're like, well, you don't have your high school diploma. So then I had to go, like, I don't know, like, because I dropped out when I was in 10th grade and then went to Nevada State High School. So because I dropped out or whatever, I forfeited my free high school education. So then I had to go to an adult high school to get my high school credits. Meanwhile, I just did a dual credit program. There was no reason why I shouldn't have gotten both credits. They were just being like sticklers to the rules or whatever, you know, or like maybe there was some like type of a law or whatever that the state wouldn't let them give me my credits. I don't know. All I know is that I had to go back and do like 3 more classes, but it only took me like 4 days to do 3 classes worth of work.
Did you graduate? I mean, did you go to college?
Yeah, I have the credit. I believe the credit equivalent of a bachelor's degree, but I never went to the admin office and told them what my degree was. So I just have the credits.
You didn't go to college though. You finished it at that school academy that you were at.
Yeah, it's they took us. They would send us out to CSN, UNLV, and Nevada State College. So
that's awesome. What'd you do after that?
I was kidnapped. And yeah. So
what age was this?
Well, okay, so I was kidnapped twice. I was kidnapped when I was 17 for like 16 hours on Christmas Day, and then I was kidnapped again like the day after my 18th birthday or 2 days after my 18th birthday for almost a year.
Who kidnapped you?
The guy who's now my daughter's father. Oh. But I didn't know him from a hole in the wall.
When you say kidnapped, what? He tied you down? Or?
Like he took me to while I was sleeping because I have narcolepsy with cataplexy, which is basically a neurological condition where your brain never goes into REM stage sleep, so you never get a full night's rest. So whenever I fall asleep, I'm so exhausted because I never got a full night's rest from the past 27 years. Yeah. So like when I go to sleep, it's like I never slept in my life. So like I go into almost like in a coma type stage where there's almost no measurable brain waves that are active or nothing, and you can't wake me up. Like you could pour water on me, you could stick food in my mouth and like move my jaw for me and like try to get me to swallow the food. That's what my mom used to do because she didn't know what was wrong. She thought like I was gonna die because I'd be sleeping for 5 days straight, and she couldn't get me up. But Yeah, so he was easily able to just come take me basically out of my bedroom and bring me to his house.
How'd you get out of that relationship?
He got me pregnant. So he wanted to make sure the baby was okay because the day, so he gave me a pregnancy test and it was positive. So that day, like every day morning, he'd give me a pregnancy test. When it was negative, he'd beat me up, and then like beating me up was gonna make me ovulate or something, and then he would rape me afterwards to try to get me pregnant again. And the next morning, he'd do it all over again, all over again. It took him 11 months to get me pregnant. And when he found out he was pregnant, he didn't beat me up that day, so it was kind of nice. But then that night, he did too much meth, and because he was paranoid schizophrenic, he wasn't on his medication, and he was shooting up close to an ounce of meth a day, which is like a lethal dose for everyone I know, like put together in one day. Like I couldn't believe how much he was using, you know. But he was out of his mind.
Where's he at now?
So now he's in Arizona with my baby.
With your baby? So he's raising the child.
Yeah.
You guys still talk?
No. I haven't seen or talked to my daughter in almost 5 years.
Do you want to talk to your daughter?
No.
Not really. What's the reason for that?
When I was a kid, my dad was like, he would tell me he was coming over, and he would never come, and I would be waiting at the front door, looking out the window for him to come for days straight. And then when I finally fell asleep, my mom would carry me up to my bedroom. And when I wake up in the morning, I'd be devastated because I thought that I missed him.
So you don't want to see your daughter because...
I don't want to be like that. Like, I don't want to be in and out of her life. Like, you're either there or you're not.
But you still love her.
Yeah, you can't, like, you know, I wanted to put her up for adoption, but my family wouldn't let me. I just want what's best for her. And a stable, like, parenting relation, like, a stable relationship with your parents, like, co-parenting together is, like, what's ideal for any child, you know? But I can't co-parent with him because I don't ever want to see him again.
Does he take good care of her?
Yes, his family is very well off, and she goes to, I believe, a private school or some type of preparatory academy or something like that. And they made her retake kindergarten because of COVID. Because, like, how are you going to take kindergarten online? Like, you know what I mean? But
hopefully you'll reconnect with her one day.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a good relationship with your father growing up. Were you abused at all, physically or sexually, growing up?
Not really, like, by my parents or, like, by my grandparents or anyone like that. Like, it was, when I was 12, when we moved out here, my mom started smoking meth and heroin with me, and...
With you?
Yeah.
At 12?
Yeah, or, like, almost 13. It was, like, a couple of days before my 13th birthday. I wanted to have a house party at the house, and my mom's like, if you can find me something that will knock me out, that I don't have to listen to that racket while you guys are having a party, then you can have a house party. So, my friend's cousin that just happened to be over his house, and this was my only friend that I had made since I moved there over a year ago. But his name was Andre. His cousin was over, and his cousin sold heroin. So we went to his cousin, and we're like, come on, give us some so we could have the party. So his cousin gave me, like, I don't know, maybe like $30 worth or whatever, and I gave it to my mom. And she saved it till the next day when we had the party. And right when the party started, I went up to her room and I'm like, can I take a hit? Because, like, if you don't give me some, I got it for you. I'm just going to go get it myself. So she let me have a hit, and then I fell asleep. And I didn't realize that was the high. Like, I didn't know, like, that, like,
what
was it. So, like, I did it 3 days in a row, and I woke up the fourth day dope sick.
You started using meth at 12 with your mom? Yeah. And did she keep smoking it with you, or did she stop?
Well, now she doesn't, but she has meth-induced schizophrenia. We found out through that, so, like, I don't smoke meth with her.
So you didn't have really good role models growing up?
No, my grandparents, and now they're both dead.
The reason you didn't continue your education or your career was because you got kidnapped?
Yeah, and I can't even find my way home. Like, for example, I don't know what being kidnapped has to do with, like, going from point A to point B and then back to point A, where you started, which is, like, for example, one day, I live literally across the street from the Target parking lot. I need to buy a new pair of shoes. So I told Daddy, or the dude I live with, that I was going to go to Target and get a pair of shoes. Because the shoes I had were all, they had, like, holes in the soles or something. So I leave the house, right? I didn't go home for 3 weeks. And by the time I made it home, I was completely, like, naked. I had just my bra and panties on. I had no shoes. I had blisters on the bottom of my feet. And I have no idea how I spent those 3 weeks that I was gone for. I thought it was only, like, maybe a day.
Wow. I'm sorry about that.
I have no conception of time whatsoever.
Now, what drugs do you currently use?
Meth and heroin, but, like, really the meth is, like, it's just kind of like so I don't fall asleep in public because I'm sick of waking up with some guy trying to stick his hand in my pants or trying to undress me while I'm sleeping.
Meth and heroin, but primarily heroin, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you're in jail, forced to be away from the heroin and the drugs? What are the withdrawals like?
Really, they're not like all that bad. Like I can't complain because like when you're in jail, it's not even an option to get high. So it's just like
you don't have withdrawals, physical withdrawals.
So like you have physical withdrawals, but like it's not nearly as bad as when you're home. Like and like you're like when you're home, you're dying.
Why
like,
Why is it tougher at home?
Because like you could just go get it. It's like a choice, and I don't want to. But like when I have no other option, then. Like, what am I going to do? Sit there and scream and cry like a 2-year-old and throw a fit? Like, they're just going to put me in the hole, you know? That's not going to get me nowhere. Like, the withdrawals, like, yeah, they're bad, but, like, they give you medications to kind of counteract it. Yeah. It's kind of like taking Tylenol PM when you have a migraine. It's not Excedrin. It's not really going to get rid of it, but at least you'll be able to sleep through it.
Do you work on the streets as a sex worker?
Yes.
You do? How long have you been doing that?
Well, when I first got out of jail, when I went to when I went to county for like a year and a half.
How old were you?
I was 22, I guess.
Okay.
So I was homeless when I got out. I went to a sober living home. My dad paid for like the first week or whatever of the sober living home, but I didn't want to be sober. I got kicked out within 3 days of being there, and
your dad paid for it?
Yeah, well, he paid for the first week, so like they didn't drug test me the first week, so that's actually a lie. It was 3 days into the second week that they kicked me out, and I didn't even pay my rent for those 3 days. So like I don't know really if it was because I tested dirty or if it's because I didn't pay the rent, because the landlord or whatever had told me not to worry about rent, like as long as I'm sober, like that she would let me stay there until I got a job or something. But I'm not. I don't want to work for no one else, so I didn't get a job, and I had no intentions on staying there. I just went there to. I don't know, like to try to keep my family's mind at ease when I got released, because they were all like scared. Like I don't know, my mom has some type of notion that like I'm gonna disappear one day and she's never gonna see me again. And like,
you still talk to your mom? You guys are close?
She has my whole family convinced that too.
You're close to your mom and your
sister?
Like
I go to my mom's house like twice a week now, but that's only because Daddy's on house arrest and I don't go home. Yeah. But before that, I hardly ever talked to her.
Okay, so your first client was at 22.
No, well, okay, so that. When I was 15, my mom stopped giving me as much heroin as she was. Like at first she was giving me maybe like $10 worth every other day. So like my habit was very small, you know, but then all of a sudden she was only giving me $10 worth every week.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to support my habit, but I would go to the smoke shop down the block from my school, and the guy would give me free cigarettes or whatever, and like he would just want to like kiss me on the cheek, or like he would want to see my breasts or some shit, and like he would give me like a pack or like a couple packs of cigarettes or a carton or like whatever basically I wanted in the smoke shop was mine, you know, if I wanted it. And so when my mom started trying to taper me off of it, I was not having any part of that. So I went down to the smoke shop every day after school, and I would basically let him molest me for money.
Let who molest you?
The guy that worked at the smoke shop.
The guy that worked. And how old was he?
Oh, I don't even know. Like, he's old as fuck now. He still works at a smoke shop.
How long was he molesting you?
From like 14 to like the day before my 18th birthday, when my friend Lars beat him up. Well, he's at the smoke shop down the block, but that's only because the one he was working at closed.
Yeah. You didn't tell anybody?
No, but I called CPS on him.
Okay.
But like I didn't tell them like he was doing anything to me. But like one day when I went over there to try to make some money or whatever, he had both of his daughters in the back room in their panties. Yeah. And I was like, why are your daughters back in the back room? You know. And he has like this little nasty ass cot that was like all springs and like a mat like this thick. Like it was worse than a jail bed. And he's like, oh no, they were just getting changed. They peed their pants. His daughter was almost my age at the time, and I was probably close to 16 years old. Yeah. And the other one was way younger. Like she was probably only 10 years old. Why did both of them at the same time pee their pants? Yeah. That doesn't even make any sense. Yeah. You know, and like he was doing probably the same things to me that he was doing to them, but I was willingly doing it. Like I knew what I was doing, and he knew that I didn't lie about my age. He knew I was underage. You know what I mean? Like it's. I don't know, for me it's different like when a girl says, oh, I'm 21 when she's only 15, and then like you could go to jail, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like I'm 15 years old telling him I'm 15 and he's still willing to do stuff with me, then like that's on him, you know what I mean? But his daughters, they weren't trying to do sexual favors for money. They were just doing it because he's their father and they don't know any better, you know?
Did you report any of this to authorities?
Yeah, like I called CPS. Yeah, I called CPS on him and just told them that his daughters were both in the back room of the smoke shop, and they were both just wearing their panties and they were just covered in their own piss, and both of them wouldn't have peed their pants at the same time. Like what? One peed their pants and got embarrassed, the other one peed their pants, the other one wouldn't be embarrassed. No, like he just got fired from the smoke shop, and about a week later he popped up at the one next door.
Now, okay, after that you started, okay, so you were getting money for sex then, and then you started working on the streets at what age?
22.
Okay. What's the most you made in one night?
Well, it wasn't really cash technically, but like this guy gave me a bunch of jewelry, and like there was a bunch of rings, and one of them was worth like $5,000, the other one was worth $12,000, and then one of them I don't think he knew how much it was worth because it was worth like $128,000. And I ended up selling it, and I put it into a IRA account, but if I don't pay in at least $20,000 a year to that IRA account, I'll lose it and won't be able to get any money back from it. But if I do, within 3 years, I'll be able to start taking money out of it.
Okay.
But not that much.
And then, so you work in Fremont area?
No, Fremont area. There's too many prostitutes. They're doing sexual favors for a sack or for a couple of rocks. I'm trying to pay my cell phone bill and pay rent or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to just get high. Like if I was doing that, I'd just go hook up with the dope man.
Yeah. When you're low on cash and you're low on drugs, these guys try to lowball you, and what's the lowest you'll take?
Like they don't. Honestly, they're always trying to lowball me. It's not like really that I'm like they know I'm low on cash. They know like for example, the other day this dude like I got like this guy's like how much, and I'm like I don't know like at least 100. Like what do you want? And he's like well get in. So I get in his car and he drove all the way out to Henderson. Yeah. And then when we get there, he proceeds to tell me he has $5.
Oh, he took you to Henderson and gave you $5. Wow. Is that common?
Yeah, like almost I'd say 1 out of every 3 guys is a complete waste of time. Half of them won't even bring me back to where they found me, and then I'm just stuck in Oshkosh with like $3 and a quarter, or like a quarter and a pack of gum. Like, you know, like I've been stuck stranded like on another side of town because a few times like they've taken off with my cell phone or whatever after they ditched me somewhere, and like thank God I didn't do anything with them, like, and they just never paid me. It was more just like I was like, I'm not doing nothing with you for $5. Yeah. And then they took off or whatever, you know. But I've been stranded like on the other side of town for like, a couple of days, and that really sucks because like, I have no way to get a hold of no one, you know.
Describe your typical day working on the streets, like a typical day. How many dates?
Like I don't know. I find it very gross that these girls will go have sex with like 8 guys. Like, what guy wants to pay to put his dick in a hole that 8 other penises have been in? That's just gross. Like, I'm sorry, but like I can't do that. Like, I'll have one like a different one in each hole, and like my asshole is off limits. So like that means I only do like two dates a day. So like an average day, normally I'll go to the mini mart and or like the corner store or whatever, and someone that frequents there is one of my clients, and the guy that works there lets us use the bathroom, and he'll just give me like whatever he's got on it basically, so anywhere from like $60 to $100. And then after that, like depending on if I'm lazy or not, like I'll either just stay at the mini mart and gamble and wait for my dope man to come bring me what I need, and then I'll go to my friend Kim's house. But lately, like the past week, I haven't gone to Kim's house, so now I just stay at the mini mart and I go in the bathroom and just stay there all day long and smoke, just chill out because I'm not going on this heat. You know that commercial where they're frying the eggs and they say your brain on drugs? No, it's your brain on heat. That's what the sun does to you. Your brain you'll have permanent brain damage if your body temperature reaches 106 degrees for more than 2 days as an adult. So when it's 112 degrees outside and you're outside all day, you don't think it's causing brain damage?
What's the worst thing that's happened to you with Trick?
Like really, like I honestly haven't really had all too many bad experiences. Like I've only had like 2 bad experiences. The one guy, it was more recent. The guy paid like $280, some ridiculous amount to Uber me like all the way out like past like Mount Charleston, like I don't even know where. Like there's still like all the houses like from probably like a 10-mile radius where it's still like being built, and he picked me up in his car. When I got out the Uber, like I went to walk up to the door that was like that I was dropped off in front of, and the guy like pulled up in his car behind me. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Don't knock on that door. Come on, get in the car." And like, if I wasn't so far away from where I started, I probably wouldn't have gotten in his car. But I was so far away, I was like, whatever. Like, I had my knife on me. My friend's watching my GPS location, so like.
You had a knife on you?
Yeah.
Have you ever maced or knifed anybody? Stabbed anybody?
Quite a few times. I've tried to cut off a guy's balls, actually more often than you think.
You've tried to cut off a guy's penis?
Yeah, or his balls, or just stab him or something. Or bite his dick off.
What happened?
They don't like it. Or what provoked me to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, one guy, I couldn't breathe, and he was like trying to cram his dick down my throat, and like I needed to breathe, and he wouldn't like get off me, so I bit down as hard as I could, and he didn't like that. He shrieked like a little girl and ran away crying, and when he went in the bathroom, I left, but.
What about stabbing? You said you stabbed somebody too?
Yeah, well, that was when I was kidnapped on Christmas. I stabbed the guy in the foot with a pair of scissors, and then I tried to cut off his balls, but then he picked up a wrought iron, those, and they're not wrought iron, like, thing, like, the drill bits that they use to drill into, like, the asphalt or, like, the cement?
Yeah.
They're, like, I don't know, yardstick length long, like, this thick around. He was whacking me around like I was a piñata with one of those, so I just started crawling out the tunnel as fast as I could. He beat me within an inch of my life.
Wow.
I'm really lucky that he didn't kill me, because like I felt myself, like as I was running away, like I remember like I started falling out, like the darkness was closing in, and I turned around and saw him picking up this big boulder, and I don't know, like I got like a second wind the second I saw him picking up that boulder. I just thought to myself, do you really want to die out here in this field on Christmas? I hadn't been home in like almost 24 hours now. Like, my mom was probably worried sick. She sent me to go get dope with no car because she was being a bitch. She's like, "Oh, you're too high." I was dope sick. How the hell am I too high to drive? But anyway, so she made me walk, and like my mom will probably never forgive herself for making me walk that day because I got kidnapped because of that.
Oh, they deserved it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a driver's license?
I did, but right now it's, I guess, suspended or in limbo. I don't really know, because I was in the hospital for 3 days. When I got out of the hospital, my car was impounded. So I went to the impound lot, got my car out, and then on the way home from the impound lot, I got pulled over. I was in the hospital for 3 days. So whatever medications and stuff they were giving me, they didn't give me for the last day I was there. So I was like severely in withdrawals, and I didn't go get drugs or nothing. I went straight to my car and got my car and drove to my friend's house, or almost drove to my friend's house. And I could see my friend's driveway, and they pulled me over, and they said I was 5,000 times over the legal limit. Is there a legal limit for opiates? No, there's not. They're full of shit. But I have to get a breathalyzer to get my license back. How does that make any sense? No, I'm going to contest it.
Do you currently have a pimp?
No, fuck that shit.
Have you ever had a pimp?
No, fuck that.
You've never had a pimp?
No, that's bullshit.
Okay, why?
Because, okay, so tell me if this makes sense. I'm up in a room, and the guy starts getting aggressive. So I'm going to pick up my phone with this guy beating the shit out of me, or whatever the hell he's doing, and call for help from some guy that's probably miles away. And he's going to drive down there in a split second and somehow rescue me and just come shooting through the wall like Superman?
Yeah.
What the hell can he do for me that I can't do for myself?
Have you ever had an STD?
I got syphilis, but like I only had it for a few hours because like I was raped, and I went to the hospital like right away basically, and they tested me for everything, but the results weren't back, so they just gave me the treatment as if I tested positive for everything. And about a week later, they called me back and said I tested positive for syphilis, but they already gave me the shot, so there was no need to do anything else.
You got raped. Who's this?
Oh, I don't know. It happens a lot. There was a point in time in my life where like every day for like 5 years I was getting sexually assaulted or raped or whatever.
Age? Between what ages?
19 to like 25.
On the streets?
Yeah, or just like out and about doing whatever, you know?
Because you're always on the streets.
Yeah.
When you were a little girl, what did you dream of becoming?
I wanted to be a biochemist and do independent research funded by government grants.
Who influenced you?
No one.
It was just you?
Yeah.
Just interest?
I like making things.
You like making things? Did you make anything cool when you were a kid?
I don't know, I melted a bunch of lollipops in the cup holders in my mom's minivan and put some salt and pepper in it, mixed some ketchup in it, and then fed it to my mom.
Fed it to your mom?
Yeah,
Was
she didn't like it. She was mad as fuck.
Was she high or was she?
I don't know, like honestly, like the only time I knew my mom was high were 2 times. She woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning and demanded my stuffed animal that I just got from the carnival. It was this whale, and I gave it to her, and she's like, "Come on, I gotta show you something." She runs into the kitchen, grabs a knife, and proceeds to cut my stuffed whale open, and I start crying because I'm scared. I don't know why my mom's cutting open the damn whale, and then she takes out the marble eyes and she's showing me them like it will mean something to me. I'm like 6 years old, and I'm like, "Okay, Mom." She's like, "I told you I'd keep you safe," and then she just ran off with the fucking
Who does your mom live
beheaded
with now?
whale.
She lives around here?
She lives in Sun City, Summerlin.
Okay.
She inherited my grandparents' house.
And she's clean?
Enough.
Okay.
Like, every once in a while, she'll smoke with me when I come over. Oh, that's a lie. Every time I go over, she specifically will even sometimes give me extra money to make sure I have extra for her to be able to smoke. But I don't smoke meth with her. She's batshit crazy on that shit. I'll have to tie her up and throw her in the closet for 2 days.
Okay, we had a little discussion earlier before the interview. You tell me, I was asking you how can I help you, what facilities, that are out there, and you told me that you absolutely do not want any help, correct?
No. Well, like, not as far as getting clean goes. Like, I've been trying to start up a business. So I have a skin condition called Morgellons. The U.S. government, the CDC, the FDA, whoever the hell you want to call, they tell you I'm crazy. It's not real, but it's real. And like, if you don't believe me, go on YouTube and look up the video that says Morgellons. There's a hair. The still frame is a hand like this with the hair coming out of it, with tweezers pulling it out. They explain everything on there.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that off camera, but you wouldn't like to get sober and work.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to open up a clinic to cure people of that, and since it's not
while
considered
you're on
a medical
drugs, don't you want to be clean?
No.
You don't want to be clean.
No.
Okay.
So like, I want to open up a clinic. Have you ever tried
rehab? Have you tried NA?
Oh yeah, no, I've been to rehab.
Well, yeah, your dad. But did you ever try
They know
NA?
me on like a first. Yeah, no, that's bullshit. Like, but sit around and talk about drugs sober.
Yeah. What about? You said you're involved with some of these organizations, homeless organizations.
Yeah.
Tell
Real
us
change.
about that.
Real Change for the Homeless. It's a nonprofit in which basically we assimilate ourselves into the homeless community in different areas of town, so that they will better trust us. And after being with them and living with them and cooking with them and cleaning with them and everything with them, you know what I mean, living like right next door to them in another tent, we slowly we drop like little seeds, trying to get them to want to, like, if like we kind of get self-analyze, we give them an analyzation, like, is it mental illness that's their problem? Is it drugs? Is it family issues? Is it that they just don't give a fuck about their life? Like, what is the problem that's making them do this destructive pattern? And more than half the time, almost every single time, it's either mental illness or they are just too strung out and they don't really give a fuck about anything but that pipe.
Are you suffering from any kind of mental illness?
PTSD, Stockholm syndrome, but like the Stockholm syndrome, it's kind of like, I don't know, it wears off after a while, but like I don't know, I haven't seen my daughter's father in freaking it's like 7 years. My daughter's gonna be 8 this year, and I haven't seen him in 7 years, and I don't ever plan on seeing him, so I won't really ever know if I still have like an emotional attachment to him or whatever it was that I had, But officially, my mental health diagnosis is just PTSD.
Now, you work with these organizations. Do they know you're using?
Oh yeah.
While you're helping them, they're okay with that.
They don't care as long as I keep it away from the clients.
Where could someone go here in this area if they're struggling, if they want to get clean off of heroin, for example? Say someone wants to stop right now, get off drugs. Where can they go?
Okay, so my suggestion is don't look up where you could go with your insurance. It's a bunch of bull crap. If you walk into any detox center, even one that what is that one that's on TV, like Malibu Heights or whatever the hell? If you walk in there and tell them that you're gonna kill yourself because you can't get off of drugs, they have to, by law, keep you for at least 72 hours, and by then you're almost done detoxing. They're gonna keep you, and it's dangerous for them to release you once you pass that 72-hour mark. So they'll have to keep you until you're at least done detoxing. So you could go to the nicest rehab in America. So
what would you suggest?
As long as you walk in and tell them you're suicidal.
Where could they go here?
Okay, so in my opinion, I think that Monte Vista was, Solutions Recovery was a very nice place, but they didn't have, it wasn't a locked facility or nothing like that. It wasn't a process to sign yourself out or leave. Like, you could just walk out the door and that's it, you're gone,
What about places where people can get food, clothing, housing?
Normally I just tell people, I give them I'll just write on a sticky note or a piece of paper or whatever and tell them to go to Help Center Nevada.
Help Center Nevada.
And
what about
say that Well, Crossroads, honestly, I was working with an officer for a couple of basically guerrilla pimps that were human trafficking minors, and I had met this officer that was trying to get homeless people to like not work for him, like snitch on people, but more try to get homeless people in the working field, like back off the streets, and like he sees that there's a problem in society, and it's not that we're not doing something right. It's that society is telling us we're sick. We're sick, but like we need to be treated them like we're sick, and not like we're like that we're just acting out, like punish us, you know. So he always would recommend Crossroads. I've never been there, and as far as I know, it's just like well care. Like who the hell wants to sit around sweating their ass off detoxing in a hospital gown for a week? Like that just sounds gross to me. Like and then like I went to WellCare. That's the worst place on earth. I would never send anyone there. Like if you go to WellCare, then you might as well send yourself out at 2 o'clock in the morning wearing nothing but your bra and panties on Boulder Highway and Flamingo. See how that works out for you, because that's what they did to me, is kick me out at that time in the morning with nothing on. Like I was almost completely naked.
Becca, where would you like to see yourself in 5 years?
I want to see myself working in the Morgellons clinic that I was mentioning earlier that I want to open up, and it would be like partial nonprofit, so that people that can't afford it or people that are homeless can get treatment, because most of the people that I have encountered that have it are either homeless or they're targeted individuals, and I believe that's how they are tracking us. By targeted individuals, I mean that people are hired to basically gang stalk us to for like we're some type of like we're almost like we're lab rats. Like they infect us with these nanobots or nanotechnology or a virus or whatever, or like they subject us to radio frequencies to see how we react. And these people are paid to follow us, but like it drives people crazy.
Okay. Will you be sober when you do this?
No.
In 5 years. You still want to use?
Yes.
Okay.
I have made heroin my god, because if you don't believe in the power of heroin, when you're on heroin, you will get killed by it.
Okay. What would you say to a young woman wanting to get in this type of work, prostitution? How would you talk them out of it?
I would tell them just to go, like, because like I was escorting for the most part, like, and like at first, you know, and I had given. Like I had a really good clients that were paying me like $2,400 an hour, and I had ended up giving my clients to these girls that were barely legal. Like one of them was 15. Yeah, technically she wasn't legal, but her birthday was in a month. So like, and she was from Guam. She didn't speak a lick of English. She needed someone to take care of her, and the guy didn't want to have sex with her. He just wanted to take her out to the movies or go out to dinner or whatever. So I gave away a bunch of my clients to these girls that were trafficked from other countries that didn't even speak English, and I kind of lost them though as clients for myself, and lost most of my clientele that way by being too nice and giving away my good clients. But if they're not, if they like to have sex, then go for it. Just use protection, and always carry a knife on you at least. If don't use mace, because if you get that that dude that the mace either doesn't affect him or the mace just pisses him off to the point where he's gonna kill you, you're gonna die. Don't use mace on someone twice your size, because you don't know how he's gonna react to it. But
how would you talk a young lady out of it?
Like I said, I would show her all. Well, I would just tell her like all the dangers. Like if you're carrying mace on you and this guy is trying to force himself on you, and you're in the car and he jumps on top of you, you mace him. He's right there.
No, I'm saying.
What do you think he's gonna do? Like he's gonna kill you. Like,
isn't it a dangerous lifestyle? How would you?
I've only had 2 bad experiences, and all the guy did was turn around and say, "I'm gonna bury you in that backyard over there." And I jumped out of his moving vehicle and found my way home 2 days later. But and then before that, this guy choked me out for like, I don't know, it was probably only like 2 seconds, but it was enough. I have blood pressure issues, so it was enough to knock me out. And when I woke up, he was on top of me, and he couldn't even get his dick up to stick it in me. He couldn't even rape me. Like that's how much of a punk bitch he was, you know. And those were the only 2 bad experiences. Like I've never had a bad experience, but like I've just been lucky because I'm good with my words, and like if I could see right off bat that the guy's an asshole or an ignorant piece of shit that probably watched his daddy beat his mommy up every day when he was a kid, that has no respect for women, I just get out their car. Yeah. Second they stop at a red light, I'm out. You know, but other than that though, there's nothing you really can once someone makes up their mind. You know what I mean? It's just they'll find out the hard way. Maybe if not, then they'll find out the easy way.
So you don't see yourself getting out of this lifestyle of sex work?
No, I do. It's just like, okay, so I've been trying to find like a real sugar daddy, because like I found a few guys online that were like they seemed like they were interested, but then like I send them my Cash App money, my Cash App, but then they don't send money, and then they're just like trying to talk to me for free. I don't got time for that bullshit. Like I'm on here trying to find a way to support myself financially, not get your rocks off for free. You know, and like it's not that like I wouldn't help them out like sexually, like if it wasn't that type of circumstance where I'm gonna be starving tomorrow if I don't find someone that's gonna help me out financially for a couple pictures or just someone to text or whatever, you know, then you know what I mean? It would be different. But like most of these guys, they're just scam artists.
Have you ever robbed a client?
No. Bad business is no business at all.
And your siblings, are they doing okay in life?
Yeah, well, my youngest sister, she was raped when she was 10 by my mom's boyfriend, and she's had a little bit of a bumpy start in life because she just turned 18 and she's still like traumatized by that. You know, she lost her virginity to some asshole, but
he didn't touch you?
No, he did, but like I was trying to keep him away from my sister, so I figured that if he was messing around with me, then it was less time that he would have the opportunity to do anything to my sisters.
So he did molest you too?
Yeah, but I was 19, so it really wasn't molesting. It was more like rape.
Did you get counseling for any of this?
No.
Did you get any kind of treatment?
No.
Did you ever? You said you have been to rehab. Didn't work out for you?
I don't like. My brain doesn't create a sufficient enough serotonin, if any at all, and serotonin is like the main chemical in your brain that makes you happy. So if I don't have any serotonin, if you didn't have serotonin in your brain, where do you think you would be, your mind state and your mental
Are you
stability?
ever happy?
Not until I started smoking drugs.
So drugs make you happy. You're building up a tolerance though.
Not really. I only use maybe like at most like on a good day, like if I like or like I never use more than like $60 a day, and that's like when I'm like on a binge or something, and that really rarely happens. Maybe like once a year on my birthday or something, you know. But I normally don't use more than like $30 a day, if that. Like I need at least like $15, $20 a day, and like $15 a day is really pushing it. But like really, I need like $20 a day.
You think you're in denial somewhat?
No, because I went to a pain management center for my pain, and they wanted to give me fentanyl.
Okay.
I don't like fentanyl. I can't function on it.
How long do you think you can go on like this?
I've been using for almost 15 years. I haven't overdosed once, and I don't look like I shoot up, but I probably shoot up at least like 5 days a week. And
so Becca, honestly,
it's not what you do; it's how you do it.
So I talked to you for an hour before this interview. So there's nothing I can do to maybe guide you to go to a rehab or some kind of place where they can help you get off these drugs.
No.
Call family, anything. There's no way. You love being on these drugs.
Yeah, I love the drugs, but like I don't like the streets. It's just right now I don't have that much of an option unless I'm gonna work more and get my own place, and I don't want to fucking work more.
What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, like suck more dick or have sex with more clients. Like I don't want to work more. I'm just doing enough just to barely get by.
Aren't you tired of this lifestyle though?
Well, that's what I mean. Like I like getting high. Like, and if like I said, if I could find a sugar daddy, or if I could get disability, because I'm more than qualified. I have so many medical conditions. It's not even funny. But like I have no consumption time, and I have ADHD. So like I can't. I left my house to go to Target across the street. I didn't come home for 3 weeks. You think I can make it to an appointment with SSI?
So you do have a boyfriend, you said?
Kind of.
A couple of boyfriends.
I don't know. I tell people that having a boyfriend's against my religion.
Do you enjoy being with your boyfriend when you guys get intimate, or is this just?
Yeah, no, I love my daddy.
Huh?
I love my daddy.
Your daddy?
Yeah, I call him my daddy because he takes care of me like my daddy, like my father should have.
Okay.
Like he doesn't even want to have sex with me. Normally, like I literally like go underneath the bed and cry like a cat and hiss at him, and like when he tries to give me food, I'll throw it back at him. Like I act like a mad cat underneath the bed.
So he's like your daddy. He's
until
older
he
than
has
you.
sex with me.
How much older is he than you?
He's my mom's age. He's 55.
Okay. And you're 27.
Yeah.
Okay. You love him?
Mm.
You think you guys will end up getting married, or?
No.
No?
His family doesn't even know about me.
His family doesn't know about you? Okay. Does he do drugs? No? He's clean? You think his family have a problem with you?
I don't know. His mom is really bad at Alzheimer's, and she doesn't know her own name half the time. So honestly, I don't. And his brother, like I don't know. His brother was over visiting him one day when I called him, and then for the next like 2 days, he wouldn't stop texting me about how his brother won't stop lecturing him about who he hangs out with and like that he has to make better decisions. So his brother is just a judgmental asshole. Like all I did was call him and ask him if he was home because I wanted to go grab something from the house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know.
What's the best thing about your life right now, Becca?
I can do what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it, and no one can stop me.
So your daughter is away from you in Arizona. Do you miss her? Be honest. I mean,
like honestly,
we were
like
talking
I
earlier.
do, but I don't. Like I just wish that my family wouldn't like try to rub it in my face. Oh yeah, we went to go see her. Like you should come see her. Like okay, first off, I never lost my parental rights. I don't have to jump through any hoops or nothing for CPS.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why I can't go out with my family to Arizona to see her, but they won't take me. So obviously, like they don't want me there, or she doesn't want me there. I don't know, but I just want what's best for her, and I don't think that that's me.
Do you want to relinquish your rights?
Like I was going to, but like now that he has her, no.
So you're not involved with her at all? You don't call her, wish her a happy birthday?
I've never heard her voice. I haven't heard her voice since like she was 10 months old.
Is this because of the drugs, you think?
No.
No.
PTSD.
Okay.
I was afraid I was gonna put my baby in a microwave when we first came home from the hospital because I was reading online like a couple days before I went into labor about how women that got pregnant from rape in the past, like they'll have like a PTSD like attack or whatever, and like they'll wake up and their baby's dead in the microwave or like drowned in the bathtub and they don't remember doing it, but obviously they're the ones that killed the baby. So like, I never trusted myself with her.
You think you?
I don't want to hurt her.
You may have hurt her.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt her, but like neither did any of those women that I was reading about online, and they killed their babies. So I didn't want to hurt her. I just wanted what was best for her.
Okay, that's why you're staying away from her, because you may hurt her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, when you're working on the streets, Becca, are there red flags that you look for when a guy's picking you up? Is there a certain type of guy you don't get in the car with?
The kind of guy that seems like an arrogant asshole that watched his father beat up his mother every day of his childhood.
Yeah.
That just has no regard for women's opinion, or like you're talking to him and they're like, huh? Oh yeah, why don't you go put on some makeup or something, or wash some dishes? And they're like, you're sitting in the car, how am I going to put makeup on or wash dishes? Like, you know, like, or like they'll tell you like, oh yeah, tomorrow I'll take you shopping just to shut you up. Like, cause you're a girl, you don't have a brain. Like, all you want to do is make babies and wash dishes all day.
All right, so race doesn't matter?
No, not really. Like,
okay.
It doesn't really matter. It's just how they treat me and how they represent themselves. But I don't get into any cars that the exterior and interior are clean because they're probably a cop, and that's probably why I've never gotten arrested for prostitution.
You never got arrested for prostitution? Any of your friends ever been murdered out here?
No, but I don't really have any friends. Everyone's a piece of shit. I hate everyone equally.
But you've heard of girls
like,
I've heard there was a rash of killings a few years ago here on the streets.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, like, I'm not worried about it. It doesn't like scare me. Like, after being kidnapped twice, like, what's the likelihood I'm gonna get kidnapped again?
Yeah. When you go to jail, have you been involved with a woman in there? Emotionally or sexually?
I guess, but not really. No, like all the girls in there, they're just like.
What they call
like
gay
attention,
for the state?
Yeah, I guess they're just attention like whores. Like, there's no dude for them to throw their ass at, so they got to throw their ass at something. So like, I don't even like men. I'm not physically attracted to men. So like.
So you're not physically attracted to men?
No.
Are you attracted to women?
Yeah, but like girls scare me. They're always mean to me.
So, did you have a relationship in jail?
Kind of, but no, not really. Like, we didn't have sex or nothing, but like we'd hang out or talk or whatever. And she would like draw pictures, and I'd help her color them in because she would always like only do like 2/3 of it, and she wouldn't finish it. But
you feel more comfortable around women?
No.
You don't?
No, not at all. I'm comfortable. I'm so uncomfortable. I will like hide myself and crawl up in a little ball and close my eyes like I'm not there. Heroin's the meaning of life.
Heroin's the meaning of life. Okay, tell me more.
No heroin, no happy, no point.
So you felt this way starting at 12, right? Your mom smoked dope with you at 12? Mm-hmm. You didn't even have time to develop or anything, and your mom got you hooked on those terrible drugs. It's terrible. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It don't bother me none. I don't know anything else, but like, I don't know, because like.
So there's nothing I can do for you. We've talked off camera for a long time. You don't want any help. You don't want any support to get sober?
Nothing that has to do with getting sober. Like, I just want to try to focus on trying to find funding to open up the More Gallons Clinic. That's been my main focus for the past like 3 months now. I have a business plan and everything, and I have like a promissory letter from like 3 people that like I'll get $800,000 in funding if I could either get a grant, they'll match it, or get someone else that will either donate it or lend it to me or whatever. They'll match whatever I get donated or lend it to me or whatever. So if you don't use heroin, don't start, because if you have any potential or if you have anything that you like in your life, imagine life without them. If you start heroin, that's what's going to happen. You're going to lose everything that you give a fuck about. And then if you can learn how to manage it, you'll get everything back, but it's not worth the risk.
Okay,
but if you're already on heroin, then you got to believe in the power of heroin, because it's always going to kill you.
If you're already on heroin, you got to believe in the heroin. Okay. That's a positive message. It took me a long time to get that out of you. Because you kept promoting heroin.
Well, no, like it's the worst thing. Like when my mom gave it to me, she took all the potential in the world that I could have possibly had and threw it down the drain. But like, I never had anything to lose. So that was probably really the best time in my life for me to get on it, because now I'm 27 years old and I can manage it quite well. Most people don't realize that I'm on drugs until I start smoking dope in their bathroom.
How would you talk a teenager low on money, wanting to work the streets? How would you talk her out of it? What would you tell her?
Tell her that like if that's what she wants to do, then that's what she wants to do. Like if she likes having sex, then go right ahead. Like just make sure you use condoms, and like if you can, go on PrEP, which is like a medication to make sure you don't get HIV.
Okay.
You know, but if you're not like some nymphomaniac, then try just escorting. Like guys will pay the same amount of money for you just to go on a dinner date or out to the movies with them. You know, and
without having sex.
Yeah, and you don't have to like use your body like that if you don't want to. You know.
Okay.
It's just hard. It's not hard, but it's harder to find clients. But it's totally feasible. It's easy as hell.
But isn't it dangerous? Out there doing
well, yeah, walking the
sex work
streets, then yeah. But like, if for example, if you're in a major casino, like on the strip, you're pretty much safe. What is the guy gonna do? Like in a casino, you know, like. The thing in Mandalay Bay, they let that guy up there with all those damn guns. Like, you're not getting up there with more than a gun, one pocket gun, or like one gun on your holster to a hotel room. It's not really all that dangerous working in a casino like that in a closed environment. But on the streets here, you don't know what car you're getting into. Like that dude could have a gun right there. The second you sit down, he's gonna blow your brains out. You have no idea.
What's your favorite kind of music?
I don't have any favorites because I didn't have favorite color when I was a kid because I didn't want to hurt the other color's feelings. I don't have favorite music because I'm just melancholy about everything.
You're melancholy? You said you don't have a favorite color because why?
I don't want to hurt the other color's feelings.
You know what? I think that way sometimes too with certain things.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do have a favorite color. I love blue.
Yeah, I like, well, okay, so like I like this blue with pink. I like opposite colors together. I don't necessarily have a favorite color. It's like a combination of colors, like when like the color wheel or whatever, like 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 if it's on the triangle, like the opposite color. So like it's like 2 triangles, like one is like right upside down, one's right side up, and it kind of makes like the Star of David. And then like it's like different colors for on each point, and the one that's opposite to it, I think is complements it. But
so
like,
you don't like music. You don't listen to any music.
Like I do, but like I don't. Like I listen to Tom MacDonald. All his music is like politically geared or like about what's happening in society. Tom MacDonald. Is he
a new artist or he's been around?
He's been around for like I don't know since at least 2017.
Okay.
Like that's like the oldest date that I can remember him saying in one of his songs. But like he's a rapper.
Do you have like a little animal you take with you places to keep you company?
I did, but they took her.
Who took her?
I don't know.
What kind of
people
animal?
that follow me.
What kind of animal?
Chihuahua.
You got a little Chihuahua? Is that your favorite animal?
Just her. Not any Chihuahua. Only her.
Just her?
I want her back. I'm trying to find her. If I ever get my unemployment, I'm going to rent out billboards so I can find her. Because I just want her to know I've been looking for her this whole time.
Well, Becca, you're a beautiful young lady with a very high IQ. If you decide to change your mind and you want to get help or anything, you have my contact information. And I'm usually out here on the weekends, so I'll check up on you, okay? Mm-hmm. I wish you the best of luck. All right, Becca, thank you so much. We will be doing an update on you in a few months if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
All right, God bless you.
Yeah, you too.